Hi, we'd like to thank you for tuning in to the World Boxing Review radio show. My name is Aaron Snow. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. Have we traveled the world for past, present, and future stars? Coming to you live from Tampa, Florida. We have some special guests that's going to be on the show today. A young rising star in the field of boxing. But before we bring them in a great promoter that we're going to bring on, we want to go cover some boxing news real quick before we get into our guests. The WBO gave Usyk 90 days of because of an injury. In the interim time, they gave Parker and Yardley the right for the fight for the WBO interim championship. And it looks like that fight is going to happen October 25th. And today is the day for, in Las Vegas, the great matchup between two pound-for-pound fighters in boxing that's rarely ever seen when it comes to two great champions meeting up head-to-head, and that is Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. But before we get into all of the analytic parts of that fight, which is going to be dynamite tonight on Netflix, we want to bring the Hawk, Hawk and his father, Robert Rene, and the great promoter, Murad Muhammad. Welcome into the World Boxing Review radio show, man. How are y'all doing?
Hey, how's it going?
We're doing this great.
We're doing excellent.
Well, when Murad, a great promoter like you, and I'm sorry that you couldn't get on the video part of the show, but we have the audio going. Talk a little bit about this young man, the Hawk, man. What's going on with him, man? To get a phone call from you at last night and said, man, we got to put that guy on your show. He's a rising star. Talk something about him, man. Tell the world about it.
Well, I have to honestly say he's the greatest of all times, because when I left Muhammad Ali with fighting against these great fighters, when he retired, all of a sudden, here he comes. I get a call from his father, because his father, he fought 117 fights in the boxing world. We wasn't going to say it to anybody and tell anybody, but we are ready now to be able to fight for the world title. And how we are doing that, his father came out of the amateurs, and he was scheduled to fight Bob Arum's fighter. And he said to him, after checking out who he was fighting, he said, you can't fight my guy. I said, why? He said, this is Bob Arum talking. Bob Arum said that he's too young. I said, what do you mean he's too young? I said, well, you fight anywhere where there's a hotel with casinos, you got to be 21. Now he was angry. He stopped his fight, and he never had that anybody to tell him that he couldn't fight. He called me. It was just a great thing that he called me. So when he called me, I didn't know who he was, but he spoke very distinctly, and he was very upset. When someone calls me, it's a metaphor. It's like a beautiful woman. You don't go chase her. She must come to you. She comes to you, you got it. I don't have to be in line. He came to me. When he came to me, I asked him, can he visit us in the gym? When I saw this young man, I said, this is the next world champion. This is Muhammad Ali. He reminds me of Muhammad Ali tremendously, is because the way he fights. Now, he was a great martial artist like Pacquiao. The difference is that Pacquiao had a green belt. This young man had a black belt, 4-time black belt, and he was good. His mother has 2. And his father was a sensational. That's how we met. He is a sensational martial artist, and he had 60 children that he took care of with his money. He made sure these 60 children would come to his gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. He would pick them up, feed them because they wasn't eating. 60 could not eat. Then he takes at 8 o'clock, he delivers them to the school. Then he picks them back up at 3 o'clock. And now when they come to his gym, you can do karate, jiu-jitsu, you can wrestle, you can box, whatever you choose, but you got to protect yourself. And so therefore, they used to do everything that they was asked by his wife and himself. Sometimes Hawk will come in and teach them also. So it's 3 of them. It's a family. But nevertheless, after they fed them and after they did their homework, after they speak distinctly, and I have to honestly tell you, is I'm looking up at a 4-year-old and it's about 6 feet tall and there was words there. And then the father said, stop looking at that. Do what I taught you. And that man read, that little young boy read from 6 feet all words without looking at it. That's how he taught these children. And that's how his mother, the wife, Hawk's mother, trains them. And sometimes we leave and go to the fight, and she's there training these children. Then, of course, they go to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, in the evening, so they can wake up 6 o'clock in the morning to eat. So I just love the idea that he has all these medals on his wall, and because he's been fighting around the world. That's why he knows the world, and no one has ever beat him. However, we want to make this man who he is. And he had a fight just recently, and this guy had 22 fights, and this guy's never been off his feet in his whole career, and he dropped him 3 times. And that's when the man told the world, I've never been knocked down in my whole career. This boy broke my ribs, and he told the world this was the next world champion. That's my
all right,
humble
Murad. Look, you're for the people, invited people, but we got the champ here, Hawkins, man. You know, that's what makes you good, Murad. You know, you're a promoter for the people, invited people. Your magic lies with your people, ties you tied in with the right people, and you're creating something mystical and magical. But we got his father, Robert, and Champ Hawkins, man. Come on and join the show, Pop. What do you think, you know, about your son, and talk a little bit about how he's developed?
Well, he's developed real well. I started him out at the age of 4. And, you know, I made the mother all upset. I made him upset. I took away all his toys. He had a little toy cars. He had the little soldiers. He had his little things. And I would take them and hide them. And the mother said, hey, he's looking for his toys. I said, he don't have no toys. He has boxing gloves. So little by little, he stopped playing with the toys. And his toy became boxing glove, heavy bag, speed bag, rope, boxing ring. And didn't look back. Didn't look back.
Oh, he didn't look back. So Champ, since you've been fighting for a little, since you were a little kid, you're a young man now. Talk about your journey and what it means to you to be a part of your father's gym and your father and mother in your life. It's a unique thing. that you don't normally see, but you have it. Let's talk about it.
I feel like it's pretty great to have both. Well, really, it's a whole community that help us out. So, right here in this spot, it's like a safe haven because the area that we're in, it not too pretty, but once you step through the doors, you're you're welcome with all open arms. So anybody who comes in, we help them out, and the support that allows us to. Let me open up the door real quick. It's getting hot, but the support that with everyone allows allows me to stay focused and always remember this is what I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for the people. I'm doing it for everybody in my community. And this is how I wanna. This is why I want to be the
So
greatest.
how did you get the name Hawk, man? I trained a guy named Julian the Hawk Jackson's from St. Thomas, and you're in St. Martin, right? Am I correct? Talk about how did you get that name, the Hawk?
My dad gave me the name. I know he. I feel as though
Come on,
the reason
Robert.
why
Why did you give him the name of Hawk, man?
Because to me, he was the apex predator. He was something special. I would give him an instruction and tell him what to do, and he followed up, and he just eliminated whoever was in his way.
and
So I said,
whenever
"You're
I'm
like a hawk."
Yeah,
whenever I'm
he
in that
come down.
ring,
Yeah,
yeah.
coming down in on your prey.
Mm-hmm.
What's your record now? You're what, 10-7, I believe it is.
10-0 with 7 knockouts. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
At 10-0, what are you fighting 10 rounds now?
Yes. I did currently just have a 10-round fight. Uh, it in the first round knockout. So
It didn't
getting ready for
last
that.
long.
Yeah. Not too many of the fights
Hey,
last long either.
it's scheduled for 10. That don't mean that it has to go 10.
It has to go 10. You don't get
Yeah,
paid
That's
for a
what
it
real.
looks
win in this
like you
sport.
you figured. Yeah. So, what are some of the things in your future that you're looking at 10-0? Where do you plan on going, and what are some of your plans? And we'll bring your promoter Rob Muhammad in after we talk to you. But tell me what you think first.
I plan on getting all the belts, really. I want to be the undisputed champ. Um, from this weight class I'm in now, the welterweight, taking everything, whatever fights I could get the best fights with anybody. I'm ready.
Wow. Murad Muhammad, can you hear me?
The
Can
greatest
Murad
of
hear me?
all time.
Yes. He said greatest of all time.
Yeah.
I
Well, hey,
call
look,
all
Murad,
time because he
give
reminds
give
me of
give give the
Roy Jones Jr. He reminds me of all these great fighters that I look at that I sense to him and let him know, my God, you was not taught what they learned, but he been around the boxing world as an amateur. And he never lost a fight, but he also went elsewhere to see these different countries. That's why all those medals are on the wall. He won those medals, and now he's ready to go. I will say this to you. I had 50 world champions, 80 world contenders, and all my champions became millionaires with HBO, ABC, NBC, CBS, and likewise. You know that. However, I have not saw a man that thinks on his own. His mother will tell you because she called me to drill me. I said, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. So then she says, my God, I checked you out and you have skills unbelievable. I said, what do you mean, skills of a martial artist? No, how to make things happen. That's Hawk. Hawk loves his father. I mean, this man will not leave his dad. And she said, sometimes we like to go to movies by ourselves, but here come Hawk. Hawk ain't leaving his daddy. So I said, forgive me. He said, when he tells him what to do, he thinks on his own. Oh, this is Muhammad Ali. He thinks on his own. He has a gift that he knows what to do to the gentleman he's getting ready to fight. But he's very humble, speaks very distinctly. And so when we won this fight of hurting this guy 3 times, the guy says, well, what you going to do, champ? You're going to be champ, right? He said, sure, I'm going to be champ. He said, well, what are you going to do? You're going to knock this guy out tomorrow and so far and so on? He said, no, I want to bring them together as one. Why is he Muhammad Ali? He's supposed to be talking about how he's going to knock the guy out tomorrow. We had a guy that was 7, that was, when he ate his dinner, he was 7, this man was heavy, very heavy. So he told the guy told him that he's going to knock him out. He said, did you do your exercise in the gym? The guy looked at him, what about exercise? Now I'm going to get you. That's what it is. And sure enough, he knocked him down. And when he knocked him down, he had to take the 10-8 count, the 9-8 count. And then he got up, and then he hit him with 2 left hooks, and he knocked him through the ropes and almost went outside the ropes. Why did he do that? Because he said the wrong thing to him. Yes, I believe that now I'm ready to expose him. I would never have told anybody if he was my fighter. If I say that, they ain't fighting. But they going to fight because I pay good money. That's what I do. And I don't worry about no tickets. I don't ever gave one of my fighters, 1,000 fighters, I never gave one ticket and tell them to sell it. I sold all my tickets, 40 states that I had my license. And so I sold out all these states. That's why I took over Vegas. I took over Vegas because Vegas fell in love with me. It's not an arena that I did not sell out all the way to Lake Tahoe. That's what I've done. I'm humble to say this because I believe I got one of the greatest of all time, folks. The greatest of all time. That's my humble opinion.
Well, Murad, you know, your name rings loud and clear in the sport of boxing. From your first heavyweight champion of the world, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, and to Manny Pacquiao. You were the first one to bring him in this country and started it off on his journey being a superstar. And also the young Roy Jones, as Roy Jones came in the boxing world after being robbed of his medal. And just recently, Roy Jones got that 1988 medal back from the South Korean who won it from him part. He gave Roy Jones the medal back. Isn't that a blessing?
Wow, that's truly honorable.
So yes, it is, and it shows great sportsmanship on
give him the thanks that gentleman that gave him back his belt. I got one more belt to get back from him that I haven't told Roy. But see, let me say this. When Roy was fighting, I was living in the same state, and I didn't tell my wife.
Mexico, Florida.
Mexico, yes. And I've never told my wife that I would fight there. So everybody thought I went there to get Roy Jones Jr. I didn't go there to get Roy Jones Jr. because I promised my wife of that fight in that town. So therefore, here come Roy. That's the pretty woman. He came to me and asked me to take him over. I said, take you over? He said, yes. But his lawyer is my lawyer. man that beat the tobacco company for $450 million. He was a billionaire. And so I said, I can't do that. You grew up with him. He said, yeah, but he's Jewish. I said, what do you mean he's Jewish? He said, because they're not going to let me take less or more than 300,000. Well, he didn't know he was good. He was fighting, beating everybody, knocking everybody out. But they would not allow him to get past 300. So I said, okay, I'll do it. He said, all right, we're going to call a press conference here in Pensacola. I said, nobody gives a damn about Pensacola. Go to New York. And he loves basketball. So anyway, so he ends up going to Basketball City. And all the press came, 500 of them. And he just says, I love my people that brought me into the boxing world. But I need someone with honesty and integrity and got the moral decency to do the right thing. Oh, Murad Muhammad, everybody went crazy. They give me no hurrah. They just said, ooh. And that's when I went to HBO, because I was with HBO for 11 years. And I created boxing for HBO. HBO didn't do boxing. I created. And so I was knocking everybody out with the fighters you just said. But here comes this young man that I wanted. And I said to him, hey, I'm telling you right now, the man is like a Rolls Royce, a Bentley, you name it. I said, but he needs some gasoline. So well, what do you want? I said, give me $5 million. He gave me $5 million. I told him I'll make him the greatest fighter that ever came to HBO. Now he already had about 7 to 10 fights. And then he said, okay. I got him split with 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, 9 million. And that's when we shocked the whole boxing world, because they said Don King is not going to give you the heavyweight champion. I said, oh, he's not. Well, it just so happened his wife loved me like her son. And I convinced him on his private jet that we need to do this fight. We need to do this fight. And he kept saying, I love you, Murad. I said, you don't love me. You like me, but you don't love me. He said, no, I'll tell you, I don't like Roy. I don't like Roy. I said, well, what's wrong with you? You don't like Roy. I'll give you 10 million. He said, 10 million. Well, that's a lot of money, but I don't like Roy. So, okay, I had to go get that champion, called the champion, and he made a press conference. Announced that he's going to lose his 10 million because he's going to have to sue Don King. So the next day, we went to go to breakfast, and Donald was cursing him out. He was tearing him up. He was saying them. And I said, I'm laughing. He said, well, what are you laughing for? I said, that boy is a Latino, but he look white. You think you're going to win and hold him back for 10,000? I said, I'm out of here. So he said, where you going?
Well, Murad, we got this young champion in front of us. What are the plans similar like this here? What are the young plans for this champion?
Junior beat at heavyweight, and he started from a middleweight. It has been done in 117 years. That's how we made real money. That's why I'm okay.
We got this young champion in front of us, Murad, the Hawk. What are some of your plans as promoter to promote this young man that's in front of you?
What I've done, I've never told anybody that I had signed him. I told his father, you push the name, you push the name, you push the name. Because I'm telling you right now, there's no fighter would jump in the ring with him. Because Murad has it. So all them title holders that I have that you're speaking about, Saad Muhammad, Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, Kwame Muhammad, all of them was my fighters. And I made them all champions. Screwed James Scott in prison. He became a champ, or as we was concerned. And that's why they want me to do Royal State Prison. I own my rights. And they can't touch it unless they come to me. They can't touch none of my fights unless they come to me. Now, there's one guy. He had a lawyer, which was his brother. He was a good lawyer, but he would not let me take exclusivity over Roy. So Roy says, no problem. If you need one of these fights that you gave me, I'll give it to you. Don't worry about it. Well, that's the only one that was never signed. But those other 1,000, I own them all in perpetuity. So this is what
How about the Hawk? How about the Hawk, Murad? How about the Hawk? You got to stay with the Hawk. How about the Hawk? This young man, this young bingo tagger, what about the Hawk, man? What about him, man? What you done all this for all these other fighters? What are you gonna do for the Hawk?
Lincoln was the best ever came into the boxing world. And I want to show him to the world. I got 2 billion people that follows me. 2 billion. Now you tell me what promoter got 2 billion? Because they don't have it because of what they have done in the business. In the business, that what they didn't do is pay the fighters. Why do my fighters make millions of dollars? Well, let me tell you something. I had a kid that was out of sight, unbelievable, and he got beat. He shouldn't have. I told him, don't take that fight because it was 2 Italians who didn't like each other. I said, don't take the fight. He did it anyway. He got beat because he got dropped in the 11th round. I said, okay. So I took him back to sign him, and I brought him in to when I got Mike Tyson. So when I brought him in on the undercard, and he won the fight, he was only getting $300,000. Call him up. Call him up and tell him, you know what I'm talking about. Call him up and he says, how did he get a million? I gave him a million because I love what he did as he was amateur. He used to come here on a train, and it took 4 trains to get there in Jersey. And so Buddy McGirt, I said, you deserve this. I gave him $1 million. And he was so happy. He'll tell you that right now. That's what I've always did.
What are we going to do for the Hawk? Murad, Murad. The Hawk is in front of us. What are we going to do for the Hawk? Look, you got guys at 147 pounds. The Hawk said he wants to be undisputed champion. You know, you got Boots Ennis, who's biting at the bits. You know, you got Crawford and them fighting tonight. Hawk, what do you think how you fare up against someone like Ennis? Are you familiar with him?
Ennis? Jerron Ennis?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Man,
Boots Ennis.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. I watch him a lot. Man, I watch everybody in my whole bracket. I could name through the top 100. I know and watch every single person. I'm ready for everyone. That's why I'm just
How
waiting.
about Devin Haney?
Devin Haney, I'll take him.
Well, man, there's some at 147 pounds, man.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the weight classes.
That weight class is hot. But I'm the
it's hot. And they say you're a hot, that you're a rising star in the division. You know, would you go down to Australia somewhere to take on Cambosa or one of those guys?
I'm ready for anything. I'm ready for anything. I'm definitely. I'll take it.
Since you said that, he was in Germany, and he fought a guy in Germany, but the guy was much bigger than him. He wasn't supposed to come in there and win this fight. This boy, he beat the hell out of him. And I said, wait a minute, Roy Jones Jr. has rights in Germany. And I called Roy that said, I got a kid named Hawk. He sent me a picture of the kid, Hawk. I said, what are you doing there? You know, of course, he has his rights there. So he was there. He said, you got a Hawk? I said, yes. That damn kid can fight. Unbelievable, Murad. I said, you know him? He said, I know him because he doesn't play. And he was not supposed to have fought that fight. That fighter was supposed to win. And in his country, but he didn't weigh no 110 or 14. He didn't weigh 175. He didn't weigh 100, 200. He weighed much more, but he wasn't supposed to win. Beat the hell out of him. So I said, get out of here, Roy. He said, this boy can fight. And this boy got power and speed. And this is why him and Pacquiao knocks people out. Because in martial art, we break bricks, we break single slam, but we don't raise our arm to beat it. We lose a little itch, just an itch, and you break your rib. Hey, once you hit it so quick and so fast and so hard, why do you think Pacquiao got knocked out? He got knocked out. I said, I knew he could fight because you're burning too much weight off of him. So when I took over Golden Boy fighting Javier Casalea, which was my fighter, that was a great fight. He was under the fight. I gave him $10,000 to see how well he can fight. And my God, when he fought that boy from overseas, from the country, he had won 6 straight wins, all in the first round, sometimes the second round. So now the #1 contender pulled out. And he pulled out, and I called IBF, and I said, you know, we #7. Say, you ain't 7. He said, wait, you got to get ready for #2, #3, #4. I said, I did all of that. They ain't going to fight this kid. Sure enough, they all turned it down. We came in. Ludabella wrote that this is a joke. This boy is not going to be able to fight. And he stopped the people from voting. He invited the people for spending their money. And sure enough, Smoke Gamer, who was my champ, I've been champion just before, he's sitting next to me. And he says that Pacquiao is going to get knocked out. I said, okay, I'll bet you with a bottle of water. If I win, give me my water. He said, okay. We cracked his nose. He was bleeding like crazy. We dropped him, and the referee says, he slipped. He couldn't get up. He couldn't get up. Then we beat him the next round. Then we knocked him out. Ever since then, knockout, 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 knockout. I had 14 straight knockouts with Pacquiao. Now, I'm saying this to you. All my fighters can fight. So when you say what I'm going to do, this is going to be greater than what they all have done. Larry Holmes came to me. Larry Holmes never made more than $500. That's my fight. When I started off, I gave him $1.2 million. He said, how much you going to take? I said, I'm not dying, King. That's your money. Then I gave him $2 million. Then I gave him $3 million. Then I gave him $4 million, but he got to fight Muhammad Ali because I gave Muhammad Ali $8 million. Those are the deals that I have done, and that's why I always took care of my fighters. Well, this one here has got a gift. He's just like me. We think on our own, and we make things happen. And his mother gives me a pat on the back. I love her. I love her. I love her. And she says, you and him is just alike in my mentality. It has nothing to do with what someone told us what to do. And when his father trains him, and when his father goes in the gym, and when he's fighting, he says, son, you want to have fun? No, you're supposed to wash him down and tell him how to throw the left hook and the right hand. He won't say that. Yeah, so you want us apart. I never
Yeah,
heard that.
well, we like to thank people for tuning into the World Boxing Review. We have
Oh,
Murad
man.
Muhammad, the
Oh,
great
man.
promoter
Tell you something, man.
on the show,
You so-
and
I like the
also
style.
Robert released on the phone, and his son, a rising star. They call him the Hawk. But before we get into that, we're going to go into some other boxing news that's circulating. Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis, it looks like they're going to clash in a fight. And, you know, people are speculating the outcome of that, you know, and the circus continues. You got Mike Tyson. They just announced Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather are going to climb in the ring in an exhibition sometime next year. It looks like, hey, look, man, these exhibition fights are coming more like main fights, and boy, are they raking in the income. And we're just happy to see guys at their end of their career can still climb in there, still bring about some type of excitement to keep the boxing enthusiasts and boxing fans interested to tune on the scene and on the screen. However, there is a team called CSI Sports Control Global Rights Group. They used to have the rights to HBO fights, and it looks like they had also USA Tuesday night fights series that they acquired from Comcast and NBC Universal. They have thousands of hours of content boxing of legends such as Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Oscar De La Hoya. In this CIA Sports Fight Network, they reach something like 190 countries with U.S. distribution of their sports brand. So it looks like they have come out and they have signed Mike Tyson, this group. Along in that group, a guy named John Skipper. If you're not familiar with John Skipper, boxing fans, he was the one who was president of ESPN. And also, John Skipper, once he left ESPN, he was president of the Zone. The Zone is also what's called, who handles it, Eddie Hearns. And he is named on the board of director of CSI Sports. And also someone who's advising this group is Mark Taft, who controlled HBO pay-per-view. Those are the team that they have put together to bring forth the Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather fight. Boy, oh boy, they got a hell of a team, and it looks like they're going to be making money. But tonight's fight that's going live on Netflix, who Mike Tyson and Jake Paul hold the record for sales and viewership. We're going to start analyzing up, and we're going to bring our guests back in once we go over this to see what their thoughts and their viewpoints. You know, Crawford at 34 years old, and Canelo Alvarez at Crawford at 37 and Canelo Alvarez at 34. Crawford with over 40 some fights. Canelo Alvarez over 65 fights. You know, with Crawford 31 knockouts, and Canelo Alvarez with 39. And it looks like the height is going to Crawford at 5'8", with Canelo Alvarez measuring at 5'7.5". And the reach goes to Crawford. It looks like Crawford's reach is 74 inches and Canelo Alvarez at 70. You know, that southpaw style that Crawford likes to fight and sometimes turn orthodox fighter with Canelo Alvarez, like a style that comes forward, presses guys. So, look, gentlemen, who wants to speak up first? What do you think about tonight's fight and that matchup coming on tonight on Netflix?
I'm a big Crawford fan, and I like his style. Um, my son, the Hawk, does the same thing. He switches up from southpaw to orthodox, and he can find you problems by doing that. So I think skill and will, technique. I'm going with Crawford. I
You're
just like
going with
everything
Crawford.
about him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. The Hawk. What do you think about these kind of styles make fights, and what do you think
Yeah,
about these two guys' styles matching up tonight from your
absolutely. I
viewpoint?
feel as though styles make fights. Both are great fighters, both of them. Uh, so it will be a hard pick to choose, but I am siding with Crawford on this one, mainly because Crawford's skill and is with his technique in the ring, I think it would cause problems for Canelo. Only because the last fight with Canelo as well, the guy was a boxer, didn't quite look too pretty on that part for Canelo. And I think he has a hard time with boxers. And for Crawford to be a switch hitter as well, I think he'll cause he'll cause some problems. And he's a problem solver when he's in the ring. So he'll be able to find wow what ticks you and what you're good at, what you're not good at, and capitalize on that into doing better. So that's the reason why I'm going with Crawford on this one.
Murad Muhammad, the analyst, great promoter. How do you see this fight going on the night with Crawford and Canelo Alvarez?
My
Is he there?
humble opinion
Yeah, he's there.
is that a fighters who sells out around the world. That means everybody gets paid, good money. Number one. Number two is we have a habit, and this is why they tried to stop the African Americans. Is because we don't sell tickets. I do, of course, but not fighters. But fighters knock you out in the first round, the second round. We are known for that, why they keep us away. However, I have a humble opinion that I would like Crawford because he got stolen for money. He got stolen for this. They didn't give him what his money was supposed to be worth. Two promoters have done that. So yes, this is something that can be very, very dignified for him. Matter of fact, if the fight goes the way we believe it should, there'll be another one, another fight. Because when you win, that's what he wants. He wants to win. So the best man wins. That's my humble opinion.
Well, coming in this fight, everyone says that Canelo Alvarez he brings the money. Well, Crawford, the disparity in purses from under $100 million for Canelo Alvarez to 50 million for Crawford. All right. Is there something to this, or pound for pound, great fighters who are stepping up to the plate, should the pay equal the talent?
I would
What do
think
you
so.
feel about
Because
that, Robert? We'll ask the
I
champ,
think
and then we'll
I
ask
think
Murad.
I think it's biased that they're doing that. Because again, if they're looking at ethnicity, yeah, they're gonna go with Canelo's. However, in order for Canelo to have a great fight, he has to fight a great fighter. It takes two to tango. So you just can't compliment one
Yeah.
and throw crumbs at the other.
Well, you're right.
Okay.
You're 100% right. You just said it a little different than I. It's that if that boy wins over top of Crawford, it's a rematch. It doubles his money. And this is what boxing is all about, is how much money you get and what money you don't have. But $100 million, $50 million is more money than he ever made collectively.
Let me cut in real quick. Conor McGregor never boxed. He did UFC. He fought Floyd Mayweather, and they paid him $150 million. He fought Floyd Mayweather, his first fight in boxing, and he got paid 3 times more than Crawford.
So with that,
Why
with
such
that
a
being
disparity? Where's the fairness?
with with that being said, I feel as though they don't look at the fairness of the
They
fight.
don't.
They're more so towards the who could who does the fans how many fans can you bring in? Because look at these Jake Paul fights. They're
That's it.
also getting paid and bringing in a whole lot of, and they don't have that much experience. So the talent compared to fans is what people are really looking towards. Not they're looking more towards
So they're
how
basing their salary based on fan appeal.
on fan
So
base. Yes,
Crawford doesn't bring a lot of fan appeal. Where what you call it, Conor McGregor, he brought all the Irish, all the Ireland, all the Irish, all the Caucasian, all the UFC. So that generated more money.
yes.
So you're basing everything on fan appeal rather
Hmm.
than talent.
Hmm. That's how.
Same thing, yeah.
That's
Same thing. Yeah.
that's what the
Okay.
world
I'm
is.
going to ask
Let me,
an
let me
important
want to
question.
say that in this business here, the Caucasians always got paid much more. This is history, always. But we was like our little money. That's how we was paid to take care of our families. But the problem is when you come to America, you can be in your country. Every country is sold out, big. 80,000 people. But why do you come here? Because nobody in the world know who the hell you are. If you in your country, that's it. You in that country, that's it. You in that country, that's it. Until you come to America, the world watches it. That's the big difference. But getting paid. So if the guy got that kind of money, especially anybody that's from those countries, they fly in. They built. That's how I make my money. Because if you go to the people that will come in, that's the sellout. That's what I've been doing in 40 states. I bring everybody why I never needed a fighter to sell a ticket. Now I ask my fighter to sell a ticket. You need 10 tickets for your mother? No problem. 10 tickets for your father? No problem. I have never asked for anybody to sell tickets. The point is that how you get paid is when you control all my networks get 1 year exclusively. When that year is over, I own mine in perpetuity, and I own all my rights like king and Arab. That's how I learned this business. So I'm saying you're saying right, but they ain't paying us until the problem we have a company that is African American. But guess what? I realize now it ain't African Americans. It's this white one, that white one, this white one, that white one. They ain't never, ever happened in the history of boxing. Why is it happening now? So I don't care about that. I don't care. I just who sells. And right now, we're getting ready to make an announcement. Be a country, in a major country, a beautiful country, is because what we are doing is left the African Americans around the world to be where they at. I'm changing all of that, godmother. That's my humble opinion.
Well, you know, when in terms of economic power, you know, fortune and fame is a crazy game. And most of the time, when it comes to sport and play, they look at or don't look at African Americans' economic impact in America. African Americans' impact of economic power in America is bigger than Spain, it's bigger than Greece, it's as big as Mexico. However, they don't talk that. You know, one thing that was said is that African Americans consume everything that's out there, and the only thing that they produce are babies, and that's at an alarming rate. However, when it comes to promoting, marketing, and advertisement, they don't never consider the economic impact that African Americans have. And Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson showed when African Americans come out and support those athletes or fighters, they make a margin second to none, and it becomes very large. That's why Floyd Mayweather was the highest earning athlete. Mike Tyson, and those African American boxers that come out like that, they earn a lot of money when African Americans come out and really support them, borrow none, and they join collectively in these pay-per-views, and it works. But there's another issue on the table with this big fight. It's known as the Muhammad Ali Act, and Dana White, who is a UFC promoter that crosses over into boxing. You know, the Muhammad Ali Act was formed in order to help create a level playing field, what Murad was talking about, and our beloved brother Muhammad Ali, while he was living, supported that act because he felt when he was young and a rising star is that a lot of people and promoters took advantage of him because of his youngness, and the playing field was not leveled, is because they had under table deals, and they weren't dealing on the table, on top of the table, they were dealing under the table. They had contracts with TV and things like that uh, for him that he wasn't aware of. And when he would come to the negotiating table, he was unaware of that. And it created an uneven playing field for him. And at the end of the day, when it came to the economics of it, he fell short in what revenue that would end up in his pocket. So this Muhammad Ali Act was formed, and John McCain, a former senator who boxed himself, they helped, when talking to Muhammad Ali, form that act and help try to create a level playing field. But in this fight, a reporter in Las Vegas asked Dana White about the Muhammad Ali Act, because since he's been in court with it. Let's sit back and let's listen to what the reporter asked at the press conference for Crawford and Canelo Alvarez.
This fight, as you said earlier, is the third highest combat sports history. The second biggest all-time Mayweather McGregor. The top five games in combat sports history come in boxing, they come in the last 10 years. So my question to you is, why then do you want to make sweeping changes to the Muhammad Ali Reform Act that is meant to protect fighters to that currently have to pay
Can you clarify that? Can hear it clearly.
It's not coming out clear on my end either. Really not clear.
But he's very clear. He can back it up and say exactly what they really got the point about the Muhammad Ali law. I will tell you exactly what's going on. But can you say that, my brother?
Yeah, well, what do you feel about the Muhammad Ali Act?
I really don't have a lot of knowledge on it, so if somebody can clarify what was said to me, I'd understand a little bit more.
Yes.
How about you, Murad? Well, let me. Oh, he couldn't hear it. You know, the Muhammad Ali Reform Act is a safety act, so it helps protect the fighter in fair negotiation. Okay, when promoters go out and make TV deals in the fighter's name, and then come back at the table to say and negotiate for certain kind of fights. The Muhammad Ali Act says that they have to make the fighter aware of what's going on with them type of transactions. In the commission, those contracts have to be submitted to the commission in order that there was fair negotiation with the fighters, like almost like what the NFL does. They say, "Hey, look, we cut a $50 million TV contract, and also our franchisees, they will receive X amount of dollars for TV rights and stuff like that." So these things are in the Muhammad Ali Act, and also the sanctioning bodies. The sanctioning bodies from the WBC, WBA, IBF, and the WBO, they have to be clear about their rating systems, about how they rate fighters, when the changes happen in fighting. They have to make that public information on their websites and things. And mandatories, when they come up, they have to make the public aware on the web. So it makes it clear of the activities that they were doing to make sure that there's no backroom deals, no undermining, that the public is very aware of what's going on. And why the reporter had asked Dana White these questions, the UFC style and structure that they have, the promoter controls everything. He controls the ratings, which they don't have. He says at all times, this guy's going to fight this guy or this and that. It's almost like mob control, and there's nobody has a say so but him, Dana White. So different MMA fighters that fought for Dana White have bring him lawsuits against him, against the Muhammad Ali Act, to try to bring forth some understanding of how he rates in his structure of boxing, which is none. And being that he just went to try to get revenue along with this Canelo Alvarez fight on the stock market to take his company TKO to get funding, whether he did it in the time fashion with this Canelo Alvarez and Crawford fight, were Crawford and them aware of this thing where he says with CBS he got $5 billion? Were Crawford and them aware, or was this fight a part of that? This is what the reporter was asking them, and I think it's fair knowledge, and it should be a fair question to wise men And wise men have the capability to change often, and only a fool don't never want to change when sense and logic is brought their way. I believe Turk Al-Ashik's heart is in the right place. He's putting up the money for
Right.
from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I want to say to the brother, Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah for all the good that you've done. And I just ask that you keep doing the good for boxing. And as boxing goes along, it makes that somewhere he can make the adjustment. And like Eddie Hearns, who is the promoter of who promotes on the zone, he has what over in England, he promotes a lot of great fights. His comment is that he don't think Dana White should come in the boxing game and try to steamroll it over and take it over with no set of rules and regulations. The playing field is not leveled. And Eddie Hearn's comment says, if he gets into the game, Eddie Hearn says he believes that he can out-promote him, he can outdo him. In boxing, Eddie Hearns is saying, and let me tell you, Eddie Hearns over in Wembley Stadium, he's selling that out with 90-some thousand fans. And man, people are watching him over there in England. He's doing such a great job. And it's like a job that you do, Murad. You do a great job. And, what do you feel about all of this?
Let me tell you how this started. And I sat there in Philadelphia with a big conglomerate corporation. But on the desk of the corporation was an African American. I did not want to mention her name. But the rest of them all was Caucasians. Now, I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm saying because I'm not into colors. There's no such thing as black, brown, green. We all human beings. More important is that we are one. That's our Father Adam. I don't look at colors. I don't deal with colors. So I use the name Caucasians because they use the word Caucasians. So I learned to use the word. But when I went there to listen, I stood up and I said, gentlemen, I said, y'all got one African American sitting with you and she don't know too much about boxing. All that you want is asking for this Muhammad Ali law. I said, this Muhammad Ali law has nothing to do with boxing, especially back then. So they was very upset with me because I said to them, none of them know boxing. I said, all y'all that's sitting up here does not know boxing. But if I went and tried to get into baseball, y'all Italians will chase us away because why? Y'all control baseball. I said, all y'all want to do is use the Muhammad Ali's name to see what Don King is doing, what what's the name, Bush Lewis is doing, and what I'm doing. I said, y'all want to know and read to them everything. That's not for the fighter. That's for you to learn how did we sell these fights. Because you cannot sign a contract unless you give them how we sold these fights. And that's a damn shame. I don't like it. I think it's wrong that you would take Ali's name and use his name so you can read our contracts. And so it changed. It surely did change. However, that now today, Yes, the Muslims are coming all over the East because they are royal families. They got nothing but money. So therefore, they would use the money to do what they're supposed to do. But this new guy that's coming around is trying to come into boxing.
Find up everything.
And the reason why he changed it is because why? What do he have? You know what he has? He has money and he used 1 million. Now, I'm not knocking him because I went there to see what was going on. I didn't knock him. What I saw is that who came up with 1 round? 1 minute. 1 minute. Now, that's the boxing. If that's what he wants to do, I like it. You know why I like it? I like it because you have to charge your opponent, fighter that's going to try to get you in shape. That's $20, $25. That's $30. It could be $50. It could be $100. But now I told Hawk his opponent is paying him.
Because the predator has to pay the opponent these days.
So that's right.
It's somewhere along the line. It's called a promoter's job is to sell tickets. But look, brother Murad, it's come that time. It looked like Champ Hawk is he's bailing out. In closing, what would you want to say, Champ?
It's hard time. Hard time. Time to show y'all I'm the greatest. I'd like to thank you for having me on the show. It was a pleasure, and I really appreciate it.
All right, we thank you so much.
Couldn't hear you.
You guys can't
We
hear
couldn't
me?
hear you. Say it again.
Wait, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't see you. Go ahead. Say it now.
All right. I said it's hard time, and I'm ready to show y'all I'm the greatest to ever do it. And I really appreciate you for having me on this show. And let's keep bringing people together.
Absolutely. Father Robert, in closing, what do you want to say?
I like to see my son world champion before he turns age of 22. He's 21 as of April, and I just need him to get on the path. I need him to fight at least once a month. He's young, he's drug-free, alcohol-free, tobacco-free, injury-free. He's just, he's ready to go. I just need to see him get in there and do his thing, because it's a young man's game. I want him to capitalize on his youth.
Yeah. And look, Robert, we want to thank you and your wife for coming on the show, all the great things that you're doing over there in St. Martin. We're helping the youth, helping the community, your boxing program, all the kids that come there each and every day and participate in it. And also your martial arts program that you have. You're doing a yieldsman's job in taking care of the community, making sure that
Orlando, Florida.
Orlando, Florida. I'm sorry. Orlando, Florida, and making sure that the youth is being taken care of. Today's nobody, tomorrow's somebody, and you're making sure that the kids in your program are going to be somebody. And I'm pretty sure a lot of kids come back to you and thank you.
They do.
Over 36 years strong in the community up there. And we want to thank you for all the great work you and your wife, and even I see your son. He goes and trains fighters to teach people what he knows. Thank you very much. And Murad Muhammad, can you hear me, Murad?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, okay. In closing, brother, what do you want to say in closing?
Really, this was very, very and this is something that we need to do because if you have this type of conversation, it's more important. Your show will go around and around. Just all you got to do is send it out. But I want to say this, and the reason for it is that when Mike Tyson, because of what happened there in Vegas, is that they want Mike back. Well, when they did that, he had not a fight. So I asked the Don King to join me, and I gave Mike 11 million, never made for over 5 days. So he told Donald, you either come with me or I'm going by myself. That's why he has love for me. Then I gave him 18 million for the second fight. But I did 49.95. Nobody in the world ever created 49.95. And this is why I was able to deal with the Caucasians, especially our brothers from Steve and all of them came to me and helped me tremendously in how to do business and how not to. I want to thank the FBI, Warren Flagg, who's been with me for 40 years now. And that man, when everybody got paid, when it came into the $1 million, he paid them. I never touched $1 million in my life. I just paid it. But I get to him to pay it. So I don't never be a liar or a cheater or steal somebody's money. That's this organization that you got. It's beautiful with Muhammad Ali. You run that area, and hopefully that we will bring people around the world up there so they will see Muhammad Ali the way you grew and the way I have grown with Muhammad Ali. That's my humble opinion.
Well, absolutely, man. Hey, look, one thing that we all love and why we're here talking today is because we love boxing. You know, it's not a perfect world that we live in. However, through time, we can strive to make things perfect. And it's for the love of the game. One thing that Muhammad Ali did, he gave it his all. He is, without a doubt, one of the greatest of all times. And we know God is the greatest. But when it comes of all times, we know that he is the greatest. And with tonight's fight, for what I see, not too many times in boxing that you have two guys who are in the pound for pound list go up against each other when they're at the top of their game. This fight tonight is going to be second to none, a barn burner from my viewpoint because of the style clash and who these two fighters are. With Canelo Alvarez, with that zero, it's hard to say what he's going to do because you never know how good an undefeated fighter is till he fights somebody that can fight. And boy, is he in a fight tonight with Canelo Alvarez. Will he rise to the occasion of greatness, or will he trip and fall and stumble to say, but there's really, in this type of fight, there's no loser. There's no losers when two guys put it all on the line, and this is for it all. The WBC, the WBA, the IBF, the ring titles. This is for all the marbles tonight. So tune in on Netflix when the undercard fight starts. And I think the boxing community, at the end of the day, whoever wins, I think they're going to have an exciting night of boxing. And I want to thank each and every one of y'all for tuning in around the world. And thank you for my guest, this terrific family, Robert. Thank you for allowing your family to come on and share time. And Murad Muhammad, brother,
I
I want
like
to
your
say,
style, and I
I
like
want to,
you,
I want
but you
to,
still
I want to say to you, brother Murad Muhammad, in the universal greetings of peace, Assalamu alaikum, and thank you so much for that call last night. In order so we could share this rising star on the World Boxing Review, because we do deal with the past, the present, and the future stars. And boy, this kid is really going somewhere. He can walk it, talk it, and he can fight it and bite it. But thank you for tuning into the World Boxing Review. My name is Aaron Snowell. They call me the Hall of Fame trainer of champions. And we travel the world for past, present, and future stars.
come join us.